And whoa, look at Magoo. Magoo streaks into the...
Thorpe's got past Gabors. They lock handlebars as they go through, but Thorpe's done.
Here comes Bradshaw to the outside of Bale. He takes over the number 2 position, and Bradshaw is not done.
I left Honda that year to go ride to Suzuki. I would have ride anything to get off that Honda.
Yeah.
And it was unfortunate because I have so many good feelings and good memories about Honda. But that was the wrong thing to do to me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, dude, I'm winning every race here. I'm like, why are you changing why are you fixing the,
and
you know,
now
trying
you want
to change
me to ride
this?
a lamppost.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, when I started riding that bike in the off season, I was like, it was like I forgot how to ride. Scars on my chin, like, I mean, it jacked me up several times.
Oh, dude. What? So that would have been the 97.
That was it was late 96 because we started going to some European Supercrosses. I raced Bercy on that thing. Got so much arm pump in Bercy. It took, like, I finally won the third night. But it was because my arms were so tired they couldn't pump up anymore.
I was going to say all the lactic was gone.
Everything was gone. Muscles, everything was gone. I finally won a night of Bercy on that thing. And then we went that year to Tokyo Supercross and some of the Japanese races.
Cool.
Again, scar on my face, got knocked out. You know, I was just like, what in the world happened? And I'm in the middle of all the contract stuff at the time. Got home from there, went to Glen Helen to test an outdoor. We had an outdoor test scheduled.
That would have been great.
Oh my gosh. The ruts were so deep, and just like Glen Helen gets. And I was like, I could not ride the bike. I got off the bike. Test was done. I called my dad. I'm like, it's weird to say, but we got to leave Honda because we were negotiating. We weren't that far away. Supercross was like a month away, and my contract was still not done. And thank goodness it wasn't done because that would have killed the rest of my career anyway. Because
How long
it just
were you
took,
going to sign for?
Well, it would have been at least 2 years.
Yeah.
Right. So probably 2 years with a third-year option. So that was probably would have been, you know, I was just
That's it. Yeah.
96 Supercross champ. Had my best season ever, 14 wins out of 15. So the negotiations were going fine, but it was just slowed a little bit because of the bike. And then I made my final decision on that.
And there's no fixing that thing. Like, there's no clamps and there's
the proof is there, right? I left Honda. Thank goodness for Mel Harris and the boys at Suzuki. They gave me that opportunity, went over there. And yeah, the bike wasn't perfect, but it rode good. It was fun. We had to put the conventional forks back in the closet and get the upside down forks back on the bike. There was a few things. Larocco and the team riders were really pissed because I was able to change my bike and they weren't. If you remember those conventional forks they had, Albertine and him, and I was like, man, these things suck bad. And I put my 96 Honda forks on that bike, just standard Showa forks upside down. Immediately changed the bike. Was able to run up front, win, and Wayne Hinson from Hinson gave me a lot of his time and fixed the clutch on that thing. I had many problems with that. So there was we structured a really good team to get that thing working pretty good and almost won the title. So it was good. The opportunity to ride that bike was what was so great because we did it with like 20 days to go.
Yeah, there's no way
unheard
you
of.
could race that bike.
Unheard of.
97.
Yeah, unheard of. So it's a shame that all went down like that, right? But again, it was kind of like what we're talking about. You know, you think the script's written one way, and here you go, like 20 days before Supercross season, it's entirely different. I would have never imagined myself riding a Suzuki.
No.
Ever.
No.
So, it's wild how that stuff plays out.
But then you go
so rider friendly.
Oh
yeah,
it's a chance for 50.
It was 7 months, and we went and did that Chaparral team. When I left
modern 450 now, it's such a huge difference.
When I left Suzuki after those 7 months, and we went and did that Chaparral team with Yamaha.
Yeah, another great steel frame.
Frame. So that bike was a lot. We made that Yamaha a lot like that CR.
Yeah.
Right. And if you saw what happened in the history of the sport, then Honda took Lusk from Yamaha.
Yeah.
And I went to Yamaha.
Yeah.
So we swapped spots, and he was made to ride the aluminum bike. He was badass fast.
Yeah.
Crashed his ass off on that bike. And he would win races. He'd win a race, maybe win 2 races. And then the next 3 races, he'd crash super hard.
Yeah.
So, super hard.
Yeah.
So, there's times that if you were maybe perfect
on it, or the track was a bit
you
more
could do it.
Yeah.
But, man, to your point of the aluminum, the steel, everyone came out with aluminum when it was, and made them super, super stiff.
Why?
Right?
Do you know why they did it? Didn't they communicate
I don't know.
what the...
No.
Because
I never really got a reason why they were doing that.
You'd have to think it would be easier to manufacture the steel frames. I don't know. Like, there's always some weird reason why people do shit that you might not think, you know?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but, what they did is they spent the next 5-6 years trying to figure out how to soften it up.
Yeah.
Right? And then KTM stayed with the steel frame, and they keep going stiffer and stiffer and stiffer and stiffer, and you're going to get to the point where they were with the first aluminum frames, right? So it's going to be tough to ride.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Sometimes, I think with engineering, and you can't just ask the riders. If they would have asked me, I would just say, hey, the bike's good. Just
don't change it.
Give me this same bike until I'm done racing.
Yeah.
Just give me this exact same bike every year. We can win on this.
Yeah.
But if the engineers always ask the riders, you're going to get 3 different inputs. Then they're going to be like, okay, what do we build? So they kind of have to just go, all right, we're going to go this direction and let's stick with it. And the way the manufacturers work now, and you probably know this, they go in 4-year increments.
Yeah.
Right? They come out with something good, bad, or indifferent. And they're going to work with that thing for 4 seasons.
Yeah. Because you can get a bike good in that time.
And then by the, if it's not, like the Cowie out, the 450 out now is excellent. The thing is so
23.
good. The 23 model is bitching. That's what these guys are all riding. It's such a really rider-friendly bike, so fun. And now they have a new model, right? So they'll have to figure out how to work on that one and do what they're going to do to it, make it a race bike. And then they're going to have 4 years to refine that.
Yeah.
And then teams come out with a new bike by then, And so they sort of have a system. And I don't, like I said, good, bad, or indifferent. You can't really ask the riders because each rider has a different input.
Yeah.
So they got to just go with how the engineering sort of world works. And the riders don't quite understand that, I think. And I just got caught up in the engineering cycle, really.
Yeah.
No matter what, I was winning. And of course I'm biased. They should have asked me, like, hey, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Well, I just won all those races. Maybe we should this bike's pretty
almost had a perfect
badass.
season, so let's try and do that.
Yeah, let's build a bike that's completely opposite of the winning bike. So looking back, I wish like, oh, hey, someone would have come talk to me about that. But it's not how it works. It's just not how it works. So, we wouldn't have the story of how it all happened if that's what happened. So
that's so true.
Yeah, it's crazy.